There are a ton of ways to approach open-world design, but too many games default to a familiar formula. Activate a tower to unlock a region of the map and fill it with question marks denoting points of interest. Then go around checking these various activities off the list as you complete them. Call it a checklist game or the Ubisoft formula if you want, but it's become the standard adhered to by many titles, including some truly excellent ones. To be blunt, it's been stale for years. The best open-world games of the past decade all deviate from this structure, or at least take steps to mitigate the tedious feeling of doing the same things over and over. The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom takes all of these deviations and creates a new blueprint for the perfect open-world game. Before Tears of the Kingdom came along, two games reigned supreme in the open-world genre: Breath of the Wild and Elden Ring. They have their own unique virtues, but one element they share is a consistent sense of awe. Although there are repeated activities like Zelda's towers, shrines, and Koroks, or Elden Ring's catacombs, caves, and mines, they let you find these places for yourself. There are no question marks on your map or flashing indicators on your HUD holding your hand to the objective. Instead, both Hyrule and the lands between are packed with dramatic architecture, eye-catching geographical features, and other oddities designed to draw your attention. Scan the horizon and pick out whatever appeals to you. Maybe you're wondering what's at the top of that towering mountain split in two, or on the other side of that magical portal you found in the bushes. Even when your destination turns out to be just another shrine or catacomb, the feeling of exploring the unknown makes everything an adventure. Amazingly, Tears of the Kingdom is able to preserve the same sense of wonder and reward of discovery, despite taking place on the same map as its predecessor. Between the islands in the sky and the shadowy subterranean landscape beneath your feet, there are plenty of new areas to explore. But familiar locations are significantly changed too. When you're expecting to see one thing, but instead see something different, there's a natural curiosity to go investigate. What are those giant ring-shaped stones that have crashed into Kakariko Village? What will I find inside that turbulent whirlpool in Lake Hylia? Whoa, there's a huge chasm in the middle of Hyrule Field. I need to know what's at the bottom. Tears of the Kingdom knows that many fans are intimately familiar with this version of Hyrule, so it smartly changes just enough to produce a new sense of wonder, exploration, and discovery, without losing that comforting feeling of returning home. Often though, you won't even make it to whatever caught your attention, at least not for a while. One of the clearest indicators of excellent open-world design is how often you get distracted en route to your destination. Yakuza is the king of this. Neither Kamurocho nor Yokohama are even that big, certainly not by modern open-world standards, but they are packed with appealing and worthwhile activities. Whether you're belting it out at karaoke, becoming a real estate mogul, or running the hottest cabaret club in town, Yakuza has some of the deepest and most addictive minigames around. Side quests are even better. They vary in tone from the heartwarming to the hilarious and the just plain weird, but they're always worth your time. That's what makes the world design in Yakuza so fantastic. It's not just that there's a lot of content, it's that you are constantly running into distinct, memorable stories. Simply traveling from point A to point B without getting sidetracked is an impossible challenge in the best way. The journey is more important than the destination. Tears of the Kingdom follows the same ideology. Again and again I get sucked into this irresistible loop. I start heading toward the next main story quest, but along the way I spot something, a shrine or a stable or a cave. I divert from my path to go check it out, and along the way a rock falls out of the sky. I rewind time and ride it back up. Maybe there's a mini-boss up there, or just a treasure chest, or maybe I find the materials I need to craft a plane. I do so and take to the skies. The panoramic view I now have of the land below helps me spot a few more shrines, a three-headed dragon guarding some conspicuous ruins, and a striking rock formation that I now feel the need to explore. The only thing guiding me are my own whims. By the time I finally reach that main story quest, hours have passed, and every single minute was worth it. On the other hand, open worlds don't have to be jammed full of stuff to be engaging. Detractors of Metal Gear Solid 5 criticize the world for being empty, but that's not the point. Unlike Zelda or Elden Ring, it's not about exploration. Rather, it's about freedom of choice. The mission structure is typically a constant. Infiltrate an enemy outpost, rescue or eliminate the target, and return safely to base. But the variable is the choices you make. Between the multitude of weapons and gadgets at your disposal, the various buddies who can accompany you, and the ability to enter almost every outpost from basically any angle, there are countless ways to sneak in quietly, go in loud, or mix the two approaches as the situation calls for. Moreover, the open world format provides space for set pieces to occur organically as a result of your decisions. Get spotted rescuing a POW, and the mission becomes a chase as you frantically race back to the chopper. Fail to conceal the body of the enemy XO you just assassinated, and now you're in the midst of a shootout. Alert your target before eliminating him. Now he's on the run and you have to hunt him down before he escapes. Many games promise freedom, choices, and replayability, but few deliver like this. Tears of the Kingdom is one of the few. Through Link's ability to rewind time on objects in motion, ascend through ceilings, and fuse together almost anything that's not bolted down, the game encourages creative solutions to any problem posed by combat, puzzles, or traversal. There is no one correct answer. The intended solution is whatever you can come up with that works, regardless of how janky it may be. In my case, it's usually pretty janky. Experimenting with the near limitless possibilities in your hands, failing miserably, tweaking your approach and trying it again to find success is a wonderfully gratifying process that Tears of the Kingdom provides over and over. Hideo Kojima and his team are as imaginative as anyone in the industry, so it's no surprise that they are responsible for not one, but two of the most inventive open-world games of recent times. Death Stranding is a long, arduous trek through a barren world where the primary obstacle is nature itself. Flowing rivers, rocky crags, and rolling hills aren't there just to look pretty. This hostile terrain requires thought and care to safely navigate. One of the highlights of the experience is climbing the snow-capped mountain that dominates the horizon. Hiking up this frozen peak one precarious step at a time is a treacherous slog, and for that reason reaching the summit is both a relief and an accomplishment. Death Stranding brilliantly captures the exhausted satisfaction you feel when coming home after a long hike. It was tough, but it was worth it. Hyrule, likewise, is a joy to explore because there's always a challenge to overcome. Tears of the Kingdom's most strenuous area is the depths. Progress is slow, and you never know what's lurking just ahead, so lengthy excursions through the gloom are stressful and kind of exhausting. My preferred approach is to sprint or glide as far as I can and hope to have enough hearts to outlast the danger. But smarter players will probably throw together a makeshift contraption to carry them above or across the perilous landscape. Whether you're scrabbling through the darkness, struggling to climb a surface slick with rain, or dealing with extreme weather conditions, Tears of the Kingdom makes you earn your progress. That makes the prize, be it cool gear, advancing a quest, or the fulfillment of charting the unknown, all the more rewarding. Opposite Death Stranding on the open-world spectrum are Spider-Man and its follow-up Miles Morales. Instead of plodding, deliberate movement, they're all about verticality, speed, and momentum. Sprinting up the side of a skyscraper, launching yourself off the top of it, free-falling to build velocity, then deploying your web at the last possible moment, and swinging back up into the sky above New York City is a rush that never gets old. Some side activities can feel repetitive at times. Once you've resolved a couple crimes in progress, you may as well have resolved them all. So having something as basic as movement be so infinitely enjoyable is the number one reason that these games are so amazing. Traversal was already fun in Breath of the Wild, but Tears of the Kingdom takes it to a new level by adding speed and momentum. Whether you blast yourself out of a tower or leap off the edge of a sky island, skydiving is both an awesome surge of adrenaline and an efficient way to travel long distances. Crafting provides even more options. You've probably seen some wild and surprisingly effective inventions on social media, but even someone like me without much patience or imagination can easily cobble together a simple boat, car, or plane and roam the world in style. If all else fails, just stick a rocket onto your shield and let it do the work. There are so many fast, exciting ways to get around that you could easily forgo the story and side quests altogether. Spend hours just cruising through the skies, fields, and rivers of Hyrule. Great open-world games are often built on one core philosophy: It could be ceaseless wonder that invites you to explore and discover what's around the next corner. A wide variety of interesting activities to take part in. The freedom to approach situations in any way you can conceive of. Or traversal that's challenging yet rewarding. Or fast-paced and fun. Like I said before, there are many ways to approach design within this genre. Tears of the Kingdom excels with all of these approaches, and for that reason, it's the best open-world game to date.
Supper!